I just want to know, why does it seem like Biden got active all of a sudden, right when he's about to not be president anymore? That's really what I want to know, right? So shout out to DC Drano over here. We're going to just read one of his tweets on X, and it reads, Ukraine didn't fire long-range U.S.-made missiles until the 1,000th day of this war, and less than 48 hours after Biden announced they could. This just so coincidentally happened after Trump won in a landslide. Biden's promise for a peaceful transition was BS, and we knew that. He's trying to set the world on fire on his way out so defense contractors can rake in billions. Not one more cent to Ukraine, period. Shout out to Rep. Anna Paulina Luna. There's a lot of us in her name. Shout out to her. And yeah, so shout out to Jurassic Joe out here trying to sabotage the country. And it's just horrendous. And we see this stuff. I'm just appalled, quite frankly. I'm really appalled. And shout out to AKA over on X. And they say, who authorized Ukraine to shoot U.S. missiles into Russia? Biden was lost in the Amazon rainforest and Kamala was in Hawaii? Who the freak is running our country? This guy, Obama. All right. I think this stuff is horrendous, quite frankly, and they're definitely trying to set up Trump. We already know this, okay? And this is typical of the Dems. They're mad. So this whole thing about, oh, yeah, we're going to have a peaceful transition of power, it was straight nonsense. It's hogwash. We knew it was crap, okay? And low-key, I still think Joe voted Trump, but that's a whole nother conversation, okay? Because he definitely wasn't with anything of what Kamala had going on. But what we do see is, you know, he's definitely trying to go out with a bang, which is ridiculous. Now, when I see this kind of stuff, I'm sitting here thinking, what do you think Kamala would have done if she were to win the election? You know, oh my gosh. The thing would be terrible. But besides that, shout out to the King Squad, the King Squad family, and the King Squad Elites. We got some really interesting stuff to get into today on this video. And be sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. Thank you for all your support. Thank you to everyone who donates to the channel. Keeps me updated in the emails. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the bomb.com. So shout out to Valuetainment. And somebody said, get Biden out of there. Who made him king? This is insanity. As someone else says, I remember Democrats saying that Trump would start World War III. And look where we are now with Biden, Jurassic Joe. And someone else said, I knew they'd burn this country before they let Trump get in. Unfortunately, that is what it seems to be. So we're going to get into this video by Valuetainment. I will give my commentary periodically throughout the video, more so on the back end. Stay tuned for that.
My Twitter, Rob. Okay, so if you can go to Twitter, go to my Twitter, Rob. Just a few days ago, we saw this. New York Times. Biden allows Ukraine to strike Russia with long-range U.S. missiles. With 2 months left in office, President, for the first time, authorized Ukrainian military to use the system known as the ATACMS to defend its forces in the Kursk region of Russia. This is when? This is 17th. Today is what? 19th, 2 days ago. Go to New York Times 33 minutes ago. Watch this, folks. Ukraine fired U.S.-made missiles into Russia for the first time, officials say. The attack came just days after Biden gave Ukraine permission to use the weapon to strike targets inside Russia. Now, Zelensky comes out and says, the Ukraine-Russia war ends faster with Trump. Rob, if you got the clip, play this clip. For him to be, well, I think Trump's going to do something about it. If this is not this one, Rob, it's is that the clip that you have? Or?
I do. It's Donald Trump explaining the escalation between Ukraine and
Russia. Okay, go ahead and play. I think this thing got like 60 million views. Go ahead and play it.
We have never been closer to World War III than we are today under Joe Biden. A global conflict between nuclear-armed powers would mean death and destruction.
When is this, Rob? This is yesterday?
Unmatched in human history. It would be nuclear Armageddon. Nothing is more important than avoiding that nightmare.
How long is this, Rob?
We will avoid it.
About 6
minutes.
Need
okay, so you can pause it right here. Go to a clip, Rob, of... Anyways, and this story that I'm saying is the fact that Zelensky is saying it's going to end faster with Trumpy, and then he's going to end the conflict. This is a Forbes story that Zelensky is talking about. It was written all over the place. But Putin in October or September made a very clear comment that if you allow these guys to use these weapons against us, we'll be willing to resort to nuclear. Like, we're willing to go nuclear. Putin is saying this. By the way, We're in it right now, live while we're doing a podcast. This is going on. So, somewhere in Russia, Kremlin, wherever it is, Putin is sitting with his handlers and his people saying, what are we doing next? Will, what do you think happens here?
So I think Biden is playing with fire, but it might not be the raging inferno we're afraid of just yet. Today on the Will Cain Show, I will have Eric Prince on. I spoke to Eric recently and asked him about this. Eric Prince is the former founder of Blackwater, incredibly intelligent when it comes to global affairs and warfare. I asked him also about the fact that North Korea is devoting 100,000 soldiers to Russia as well. Here was Eric's response to those two things. That's fodder. North Korea devoting soldiers to Russia is basically human fodder on the front lines in Ukraine. Secondarily, he said these missiles that are being used are not top-of-the-line stuff. It's not the muscle the United States could be allowing the Ukraine to fire into Russia. So maybe perhaps not the inferno that we're afraid of, but still playing with fire. Biden and the geopolitical establishment in Europe and the military-industrial complex here has a hard-on for Ukraine. They just simply do. And this is one of the biggest reasons the American public wanted to bring in Donald Trump. I have full faith that the negotiator, the strong man, the clear leader that is Donald Trump will be able to keep this from metastasizing into World War III. I think.
And that to me is the very reason why Biden even did this nonsense, okay? And now, granted, Biden has made just some very questionable choices, very horrendous choices, if I'm being truly just transparent, throughout his entire term, okay, his entire presidency. And I really think that with Biden seeing the amount of love Trump had received and, just the way the respect that Trump gets, it could possibly even be some envy there. Granted, I still don't think he cares all the way too much for Kamala Harris, but a Ku Klux Kamala Harris, that is. But they gotta sabotage, steal, and destroy. Okay, the Demonocrats. We don't call them that for no reason. It's like this. Like what is with them? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Okay, and Biden, why are you trying to go out with a bang? Like seriously, why is he trying to do this? Okay, it's just, we're over here trying to just mind our business, make our money, feed our families, feed ourselves, have a better tomorrow, all that kind of stuff. And here he goes trying to annihilate the world and have world domination out here moving like Dr. Doofenshmirtz. Like, what is going on? And first of all, I'm shocked that he even can do this. For a minute, I thought Kamala Harris was in charge. So what is happening here? Who is in charge of the country? Like, what is going on? Biden can just revive from the dead and just sit here and start signing off things and launching missiles and helping different people and funding wars all over again. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is exactly why we fought so hard to get Trump in office in the first place. Let me know what you guys think down below. How are you guys feeling about this whole situation? Comment down below. Be sure to smash that like button. Let's get back into it.
Putin knows it. I think Zelensky knows it. And I think we're headed towards a peace deal, hopefully even before Donald Trump takes office, because as Tom pointed out earlier, the dominoes are falling. The world sees the next step for the United States, and people are from Lunchables to Russia. They're getting the world in order.
So I know what Eric says, the fact that, hey, these are not the best missiles. We're not using our best, all this other stuff. Go optics. Your name is Putin. There's power plays going around the world. You have to seem strong in front of your people. Mm-hmm. 2 days ago, Biden's giving permission. 2 days later, boom. The headline says those missiles have been fired.
And that's why he's playing with fire.
That's the point. So Putin doesn't care if it's a 1990, the highest, latest 2024 that they just build with the highest technology, whatever. Putin doesn't. All he cares is you gave him permission. He took advantage of it. During the time that we have a president-elect Trump, this is your last 60 days that you're doing this, no problem. Tom, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, Russia's been fighting mostly a ground incursion strategy, right? You take a look at it, it's moved the line because this has been a let's take their land war from the beginning, right? I mean, Crimea and everything like this in response to and spurred by, Ukraine possibly joining NATO and all those things. So it's historically, that's my frickin' land, and NATO is going to make them join. No, I'm not having that. So this has been a land war. This has not been we're going to drop a bunch of crap on Baghdad, make a point to Saddam Hussein, and then go home and then let them rebuild their country. This is a land grab. So he's been doing conventional. And what he hasn't done, you know, even though you've seen the devastation in cities that have been along the way, he has not gone to major, I mean, you see pictures today of major population centers in Ukraine. They look like New York. Right? They look like New York. They're largely untouched. He hasn't hit them. And what I worry is what you say is that he's got to make like a statement strike, that he's got to come back with a statement strike. Like when, what did they try to do? They launched in the Hezbollah and with support from Iran, they launched like 200 missiles overnight, 200 rockets overnight. And they tried to make that statement and they killed a bunch of ducks on farmland. Yeah. But they were trying to make a statement about all these. To your point, he's got to make a statement. And the concern is, what is he going to do to make a statement that I'm still strong and not to be screwed with, while I believe the world waits for Trump to take power? Because this wasn't the most high-tech stuff, but there's an optic that's not good for Russia.
I mean, how about...
That's exactly what I was thinking myself, because when you think of Putin, like Putin is like the big bad wolf, him and Kim Jong-un. And, you know, Biden just is out here putting Putin in a, like he's messing with him. Okay, he's really testing him. He's challenging his manhood and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so he's putting Putin in a position where if you're so big and bad, okay, do something about this. That's what Biden just did. That's translation. That's what Biden just said. And then here you have Putin. It's like, well, how do I respond? Because Putin just backed down. He was like, okay, well, I don't want any smoke with Trump. I have respect for Trump. Okay, me and Trump can talk business. But fast forward, Biden was like, man, screw that. Let's ruin everybody's day. Okay, the Democrats are not in power anymore. I'm mad. Raging liberal, rage. Let's ruin everybody's day. Okay, we had a bad day because Trump won. All right, you guys got to have a bad day. That's kind of what they said. It's just ridiculous. And how does Putin respond? How does Putin respond in a way where the world still takes him seriously? I really think if there was a way to get Trump in office sooner, that needs to happen.
Well, there's anything with somebody threatening a nuclear attack, to me, it's already a red flag. We're talking about, we were warned about Trump doing all this. They're doing it. And that the headline, I think, is misleading. Joe Biden, blank. Joe Biden, as we all know, hasn't made any decisions since he's been in, okay? And this is why it's so important about the cabinet that he's picking, Will. This is the most important thing, because who's going to be, Mark Rubio we're talking about. Anthony Blinken is in front of a camera 3 days ago going, hey guys, we got to get $8 billion to them before January 20th. They're rushing the money. These guys are in charge. The Blinkens are in charge. They're the ones that are responsible for the 13 dead American soldiers in Afghanistan. These are the people, the Tulsi Gabbard. Like, who's the person that's in right now? Avril Haines? You know, all the spy balloons, all the Russia. How did they not anticipate all these attacking and everything? Meanwhile, you know where Joe Biden is, Pat? He's in the Amazon dressed like Crocodile Dundee. Have you seen what all this is happening? Look at Joe Biden. Is this a movie scene? Look at this guy.
You got Jurassic Joe out here. He went from Sleepy Joe to Jurassic Joe out here just exploring. Like, dude, you have a whole job. Like, what's going on, man? Seriously. Like, Biden just makes us look like the laughing stock of the world, really.
Where did his shoulders go?
Look at look at the lighting. Everything is good. This looks like a joke. It looks like look. You think that guy's making the decisions? It's the Tony Blinkens. It's the Jake Sullivans. It's all these people that are making all these decisions last minute.
Where's he walking to?
Where the hell is he going? That's Crocodile Dundee.
You know what it is, though? Think about, Vinny, this is kind of weird to me. And let me tell you why. Let's just say you and I were enemies. Okay? And I come out to you and we have dinner, me, you, and your wife. Okay? And now it's like, hey, we're laughing, we're having a good conversation. All good. Hey, bro, listen, I know, we hate each other. You took my job 4 years ago. And I'm coming back, and I'm not really taking your job, so you should have stayed in it, but they kind of took away your job, and I just beat this other person. But bro, it's not fair what they did to you. It's kind of effed up. And but listen, respect to you. 45 years you gave, awesome, lots of respect. And I'm leaving. I'm in my plane. I'm going to a UFC fight to go hang out with John Jones and Dana White and everybody else.
Yeah.
And then I hear the next day, while I'm talking about, we're going to create a peace treaty, and we're going to make Ukraine and Russia get along, you're now given the green light for them to do that? Then 2 days later, Ukraine actually executes on your permission that you gave me. Then I'm Trump coming out and saying Joe Biden is about to cause World War III. What happened to that meeting that we had? So this makes me a little bit uncomfortable to know what the hell just happened. Yeah. I thought we had a good conversation together. So this is...
Yep. Biden is out here trying to fumble the nation. All right. It's just a mess. And, definitely important to stay prayed up, stay optimistic, all that kind of stuff, because I know some people, we need a good word during these kind of times. This stuff is nuts. Stuff is no joke, no game. And unfortunately, we have people in positions of power that don't take their job seriously, let alone know how to do their job. So all the more why we got to get these people out. And, that's just what it is.
There's either a few different things to me. It's either one, what you said, Joe's not doing it. Everybody else that's in there is making a decision. They're saying, hey, let's sell a few more missiles. Let's cause a little bit more of this that's taking place. Two, maybe, just maybe, Biden is trying to intercept of this war being done early by him getting ahead of it so Trump doesn't get that victory. How? I don't know how you go about doing it the way that he's trying to do it right now. But it makes me very uncomfortable that it happens a day after you and I visit, 2 days after you and I visit. And I thought we had a cordial conversation to get it. And then you come out and do something like this.
Or C, provoking an escalation from Putin that denies Trump the ability to negotiate a peace on the war they want to continue in Ukraine.
But let me tell you how that works. A guy like Trump is not going to worry about that. Here's how guys like Trump are wired.
But we're trying to get to Biden's motivation from that meeting.
I totally get it with you. But what they don't understand is Trump is already probably talking to Putin.
Yeah.
And their camp is already talking. And he's already talking to Zelensky. You better believe they're having those conversations. So they're probably saying, dude, Putin's probably saying, dude, this guy's going to get in. What the hell is this other guy doing? Get out of the way. What are you doing? What are you doing with all this stuff right now? So I don't know. By the way, if this shit backfires and Putin's in a meeting right now and he's sitting there saying, you know what? I've had it. Light those people up.
Yep.
Light them up.
It's a wrap.
If he does, guess whose hands that blood will be on? Biden and all his
Blinken's
war, all those guys that want this, they're going to have that blood on their hands. Not anybody else. In 2020, I'll never forget, we're doing our podcast. We had 47,000 viewers. Concurrent viewers, we had 6,700. We're at the office. We leave. I go home the next day. News comes out. Biden's probably going to be the president. Of course, it takes a few weeks. Everybody around me is panicking. What's going to happen? COVID, Biden, what are we going to do? We step back. We put a plan together. And the last 4 years have been the most ridiculous 4 years of our lives because we sequenced everything out. 15 moves, business, personal life, finances, all of it. Now that Trump's president, that same strategy that worked in 2020 should be different than the one we have in 2024. Tonight at 6 o'clock, I'm hosting a webinar called the No Matter What webinar. Tom and I will be sharing with you guys.
So shout out to Valuetainment right there for that. I personally, that's really leaning on hope a lot of what they were saying as far as, Trump talking to Putin right now. Until we have concrete videos and articles on that happening, I'm strictly looking at what Biden is doing. I'm like, this is not a good look, and I'm just kind of accepting it for what it is. Hopefully, Trump and Putin are talking. Okay, Trump is over here resolving this with Putin, because if I were Putin and this happened, oh my gosh, you guys, it's just not a good look. It's just not a good look. It's bad. It's bad all the way around. It's bad all the way around. Somebody said, let me see, may God protect this world from these warmongers. Yeah, Biden is out here looking like one of these war hawks. So there's that. And somebody said, this is scary. It's very wild indeed. Biden said, this ends with me. Yes, he did. That's exactly what he said. And we're not trying to go out with him. All right. Need to impeach Biden. Facts. It's just a mess. And that's my thoughts on it, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As always, smash that like button, hit subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to the King Squad, the King Squad family, and the King Squad leads. You guys are bomb.com. You guys are awesome. And don't let anybody tell you any different. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.